Overproof rums. Are they tasty rums to drink neat? Are they a necessary addition to your cocktails? Or are they just a quick way to get drunk? Well, the simple answer is all three, of course. Welcome back to the channel, rum fans. I'm Steve the Barman, and I'm purely here to try and help you on your rum journey. I'm educating myself at the same time, but in turn, I want to help educate you guys and take you along for the ride. So in today's video, as I just mentioned, we're going to be talking about overproof rums. What are they? Should you buy them? Do you need them? Let's dive into it. So let's get the totally obvious statement out the way first. Yes, these are overproof rums. They are a lot stronger. Yes, they are going to get you drunk quicker. Now, I don't condone binge drinking, but the simple fact is the higher ABV, they're going to get you a little bit tipsier, a little bit quicker. And now that the stupid comments are out the way, hopefully, let's deep dive into seeing what some of these are all about. Now, proper rum heads will know this all too well, but if you're a newbie to the category, you may not understand ABV. The fact is, the higher the ABV, the more nuances in flavours come out of rums. So while these are obviously a lot stronger, they are really good to sip neat, but you have to train your palate up to them. You can't just go in, if you're young and just getting drunk, you can't just go into sipping sort of 60, 63, 69, 75% rums neat, because your palate, it'll just kill your palate. But once you've trained your palate, there are some tasty liquids here to be had. But also, when it comes to cocktails, I liken these to like your Jamaican rums or your rum agricoles, your French style rums, because an overproof rum will add a unique twist to your cocktails. Now, over the previous few videos, I've done kind of a blind rum tasting. This video is not going to be like that. While sort of Wray and Nephew Rum Bar are pretty similar in styles, you know, I'd be an absolute fool if I was to do a blind tasting and couldn't taste the difference between Pussers, OFTD, and these two Jamaican beasts. So instead, see this video as more of a quick guided tour. What are the differences between the rums and which ones should you buy? Now, I need to kind of clarify another, I say obvious, but it may not be obvious to a lot of people. But what exactly is overproof rum? Well, I'm not going to go way back into history because it was slightly different way back in the day. But recent history, proof basically means, so to dumb it right down, in the UK, we're all about ABV, percentage. And in the US, it's all about kind of proof. So to show you the difference, 40% ABV in the UK is 80 proof. We simply double. So 50% ABV in the UK is 100 proof. Now, for a drink to be at proof, or a spirit to be at proof, it is classed as at 100 proof, or 50% ABV. Okay, so if we got that, so 50% ABV or 100 proof is a drink at proof. So to be overproof, obviously it has to be 51% ABV and above, or 101, 102 proof. Okay, so anything over 100 proof or over 50% ABV is classed as overproof. Which then leads on to another question: why am I not featuring rums like this? Because this Smith & Cross is 57% ABV, I think. So yeah, 114 proof. Pussers and Lost Years are 54.5%. So again, they are overproof. Now, there's a whole, it is another kind of category as well where we've got Navy Strength, and Navy Strength refers to 54.5%. And there is also Navy Style Rum as well. Don't get the two confused, because Navy Style Rum is very different to Navy Strength Rum. Okay, and then we've got other things like, as I said, the Smith & Cross at 57% ABV. I don't know whether you can see those little bottles of Bitiki behind me. I'm looking at them, 55% ABV, 56.8, 53.8. So they are all overproof rums, technically. But I kind of wanted to keep it. I mean, I could spend all day down this rabbit hole with loads of different rums, but purely for the purposes of this video, I wanted to kind of stick to 60% and over. The rums we automatically class and think of when we say overproof. Which leaves me out of my collection these 4 rums. So to relate this to Smuggler's Cove and the categories, if you've not read the book, I kind of talk about Smuggler's Cove a lot, because I think the way Martin Kate has classified rums is is genius for cocktails. So I do refer to that quite a lot in all his videos. So to refer it to his categories, we've essentially got what I've called, he doesn't call this a category name, but I class this as 1C. So category 1 is pot stilled lightly aged, and then we've got another one, but then so the next one down is pot stilled overproof. So I call that 1C effectively. So we've got 1C there. We've effectively got 3C, if we like, which is a blended overproof rums. Again, he doesn't classify that as 3C, that's me. He's got 3, which is blended rums. So this is basically a blended overproof in 3C. However, that could cross over into category 6, which is black blended overproof in Smuggler's Cove. And you know, there is no right or wrong with these two rums. I think they both fit in 3C, which is blend. I have to look at my categorizations there to look at 3C, which is blended overproof, but they also kind of do fit into black overproof as well, which is category 6, which Gosling's overproof, Gosling's 151 would fit into that as well. Now, I don't have Gosling's here, 151. I've never really looked at purchasing. Perhaps I should have done, but these 4 are the big 4 for me that's kind of in my peripherals, if you like. It's always been these rums that kind of I look at when I think overproof. And it is also worth quickly pointing out to the US guys, we don't get, is it Hamilton 151, or Lemon Heart over here as well. So we don't get those in the UK. So if you're looking for me to add those, we just don't get them in the UK. So first up, let's look at category 1C, pot stilled overproof. Essentially, it will be pretty much Jamaican. There probably won't be any other kind of country getting involved in this. So there'll always be Jamaican rums. You might find the odd few darted around. I'm just thinking maybe Barman. I don't know whether that will fit into there, but I don't even know whether they do an overproof. To be fair, it's another brand we don't really get in the UK. But essentially, we're focusing on these two brands. So first up, we're going for Wray and Nephew. Most people should know of Wray and Nephew. As I say, 63% overproof. Most supermarkets in the UK will carry it and have carried it for a lot of years. Price wise, you're talking £25, £26 a bottle. So pretty decent. On the nose, you know, it's just plenty of grassy, sort of tropical Jamaican funk on there. When I've previously in the previous video about buying your first Jamaican rum, this is kind of what I'm talking about. That is kind of, it's unmistakably Jamaican. And I have to say, I really do actually quite enjoy sipping that neat. There's nothing really offensive in there. If you like if you've got into agriculture, if you understand kind of Jamaican funk as well, you know, that is lovely. Add a drop of water to that to bring the ABVs down slightly, and it brings out different notes. You've actually got a really delicious sort of sipping white rum. Now, obviously, this has a lot of cocktail uses, but a big cocktail for this, especially in Jamaica, is the Stingray. Because it's got a sting in the tail and it's made with Ting. However, if you go onto Ting's website, then Ting obviously rebranded it as Stingray. You know, it's been a cocktail around since the age of time. Ting is really easy to get in quite a lot of supermarkets. Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's, they all sell Ting. It's just grapefruit soda. Think of it as lilt, but without the pineapple. So it's just purely grapefruit soda. And it's just literally kind of Wray and Nephew and Ting. And that is a properly delicious cocktail. The rum goes so well with the grapefruit notes of that. It really is a pleasure to drink. And obviously you don't need to do double bubbles. You can bring the volume down a little bit if you want, or sort of a single shot instead of a double shot, for instance. But it's a quality cocktail. You know, Wray and Nephew does the job exceptionally well. Now, for a long time, this has been kind of the only overproof Jamaican rum, white rum especially, that I've ever known or ever thought about, until last year when I found these guys, Rum Bar. Now, Rum Bar is a brand from Worthy Park, and to the uneducated, Worthy Park are the new kids on the block. Worthy Park have just sort of come around in the last sort of 4-5 years or so with their brands. Worthy Park out and out proper rum brands in there. And then they've got Rum Bar, which is their cheaper Jamaican rum. So that you've got an overproof, you've got a cream actually, and you've got a silver and a gold aged rum. Now that was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek statement, because actually to the educated, Worthy Park are actually the oldest rum distillery in Jamaica. The first, I think the distillery was about, or they were producing sugarcane before this, but I think the first ever recorded rum in Jamaica was 1741, I think, if I've got that right, and that was a Worthy Park rum. However, in all that time they've been producing rums, see them, to really dumb this down to you, it happens a lot in the UK, but see them as contract distillers. They have been making rums, really, really good rums, for a lot of other brands for a hell of a long time. It's only literally, and I can't pinpoint this, but it's only literally in the last 6 to 8 years or so where Worthy Park has been a brand in its own right, releasing rums to the world. And just putting the bottle back on the bar, I can see on the front there it says established 1670. So the estate was established 1670, but I think it was a good sort of 70 years later when the first rum. So they were kind of sugarcane producers or mills or whatever they were doing, whatever you call that, before they're producing rum. So as I say, relative terms, Rum Bar and Worthy Park, new kids on the block. In rum world, the oldest rum distillery producers in Jamaica. And when I had this down at Rum Fest, October 2021 for the first time I've ever seen it, first time I've ever had it, tried it, instantly fell in love. It's got this unique, even more unique than what Wray and Nephew has. And Wray and Nephew, just to clarify, sorry, what Wray and Nephew is kind of Appleton. Wray and Nephew is the parent company of Appleton. I think I've got that the right way around. Yeah, of course I have. I think he says now. But yeah, to bring that all round, I really, really fell in love with this. This has got even more rum characteristics, even more kind of Jamaican funk going on there. This, and it has got the burn when you drink it, but oh my God, the flavours that really come off this are insane. You really do get that Jamaican funk. You get freshly cut grass, you get banana, you get pineapple, you get hints of papaya off this. And then on the taste, on the palate as it goes down, it is absolutely gorgeous. I really do think, and yes, this is price-wise, I'm logged out £34.50. Compared to 25. So yes, it is £10 bottle and more expensive than Wray and Nephew, but I think it offers so much more than Wray and Nephew. And obviously we can't call this a Ting Wray because obviously the Wray is Wray and Nephew. So I don't know what we're calling this. Wray Bar, Wray Burns. Well, I don't know what we're calling it. But the Ting with that, for me, is a lot better than the Stingray with the Wray and Nephew. There are so many more interesting fruity flavours that come off that. The rum really does come through there. The banana, the funk, the pineapple is a delicious, delicious simple highball. To sum these two up, it really comes down to your budgets, Billy, because I'm not saying Wray and Nephew is bad. In fact, Wray and Nephew is absolutely delicious. But there is a huge price difference. There is kind of a £10 price difference. Have a look around online, see what other deals you can get. If it was me and it was just that £10 difference, I would go Worthy Park all day long. But, you know, if you're building up, if you're adding to your bar slowly, you know, your stock levels, perhaps Wray and Nephew would be the better starting point for £25, £26. But I tell you what, I do genuinely believe that Worthy Park knocks spots off Wray and Nephew for me personally. So from category kind of 1C, let's move on to category 3C. The sort of blended overproof category, and we've got Pussers here. Pussers 1.5. This is the new blending of Pussers. They have had an overproof in previous guises. I think this is a new blend as of 2021. I think maybe in 2020, but I think 2021. It's called the Select Age, so Select Barrel Age 151. And the aroma, the nose of this is insane. I mean, you get typical Pussers vibes off there. The woody, the oaky notes, the Guyanan sort of caramel, toffee, molasses. And then the longer you smell, the kind of chocolate notes and the coffee notes come out of it. It really has huge depth of flavour just off the aroma. And when it comes to tasting this neat, you have, I mean, this is a whole, with another 12% ABV on top of these two. These are both 63. This is 75% or 151 proof, if you like. 75.5, 151 proof. You have to have a second sip. You have to just let it burn your palate for the first sip. But then when you go back for the second sip, once your palate is acclimatized, all those flavors just come out. And this is an absolute delight to sip neat. Opening this out with a little bit of water as well brings a whole different flavor compound. And this is not a stronger version of gunpowder proof. So basically gunpowder proof, and the blue label. The blue label is just more watered down gunpowder proof. That's all. So the blue label is 40%. That's 54.5%. This is a different selection of rums that have been blended in here, but they are phenomenal, and that's all because of DDL's Port Morant, the wooden pot still. That's where all those flavours come from. It's that wooden pot still that is inherent with Navy rum. That's just what that is. It's insane. It's so good. It's got a huge long finish, probably finishing out more caramel for me, but the chocolate and the coffee does finish off there. I say I absolutely really like sipping that neat. I wouldn't have too much of it, but I really do like sipping that neat. The only downfall of this compared to everything else I'm going to feature, this is roughly about £50 a bottle. Is it worth it? Yeah, I think it is. This doubles up as a really classy sipping rum, but a really good cocktail rum as well. Now then, boys and girls, let's move on to Plantation's OFTD. Long-time viewers of this channel will know that that doesn't stand for old-fashioned traditional dark, as it's written on the bottle. It actually stands for old flipping Nora. Insert other F word there. That's delicious. Oh, that's delicious. That is the genuine truth of what it stands for. This is an insane beast. I've had this ever present in my collection ever since I found it now. So we're talking, I don't know, I've lost track of time now, 6 years or so, probably, give or take. It is stunning. And like Smuggler's Cove, Martin Kate, he does classify this as category 6, black blended overproof. But I do think this equally fits the same way that fits in category 6. I think that equally fits in category kind of 3C as well. So you have got kind of a little bit of chop and change going in there with the categories. So you could buy one or the other, but I have to say this is a very different animal to what this is. It is really different. We've got a blend of Barbados, Guyana, I can either remember Jamaica going in here. And the sole purpose was to create Plantation, the guys will explain it a lot better, but the sole purpose was to create an all-round kind of rum for your tiki style of cocktails. And for me, this is slightly lighter to drink than the Plantation. The Plantation is really heavy and robust. This, and that's 75% in the UK, 69% in the UK. So we've got a little bit of variance, not too much, like 6% ABV, but it just really does open it out into a kind of a lighter, heavier than that, but a lighter sort of style of rum. And you get those chocolate notes, you get the coffee notes in there, but caramel, lots of caramel, and it's a really delicious rum to sip neat. Now, while this is a great addition to your zombies and things like that, I think where this comes out and has a whole little world of its own is think of the Mai Tai. This in a Mai Tai is insane. It is so good. Now, I'll be honest, I've read quite a few reviews of this where the reviewers have said that this is quite hard to drink neat, and they've opened it up with a bit of water. I don't think it is that harsh to drink neat, to be fair. For me, that really kind of does. And that's not saying I'm an alcoholic or anything like that. For me, yes, there's obviously this slight burn there. You've got 69% alcohol. But for me, there isn't the burn that you kind of expect to get off a real big overproof rum. And just to look at the price point of that, again, logged out price, you're talking just over £40, £41. So 40-ish, 50-ish, 35-ish, 25, 26-ish. So, look, which one do you buy? And can you get away with just having one overproof? Well, look, if you're just starting out with cocktails and you've only got a few different cocktails that you like making, then yes, of course you can start off with one different overproof. But the fact is, I just wanted to show you that overproofs are very diverse. Again, we've got allegedly three different categories here, although, you know, they could double up in either of those categories, and that's definitely the pot still Jamaican. If it was me, I personally would add those three to my collection. I really would. I would probably, depending what type. Look, these are not daiquiri Mai Tai kind of, daiquiri mojito rums. They're not. They are your robust, your tiki cocktail styles of rum. So, if it was me, I would definitely look to go for a kind of a light, a white Jamaican, possibly first, and to get you kind of used to it, 63% as opposed to go right in there. But Splitting these two is insane. That's the new one to me, obviously, because it's only been around 6 to 8 months now. But the OFTD, I cannot fault it at all. It makes amazing drinks. They really can't. I potentially, price-wise, I potentially go OFTD and then go up to the Pussers and that. But I know so many people now that have tried that and just love sipping it neat, let alone adding it to cocktails. So the choice is really up to you. I've kind of tried to help you and show you the differences. But you know, after that, it's really down to you which one you do need to buy. And to answer the next question, do I really need to buy an overproof rum? Do I need one in my collection? Well, yeah, you kind of do. Let's be honest. Let's have some fun. Look, these, as I say, these are not daiquiri mojito rums. These are very much mixing rums, cocktail rums, tiki rums. But just imagine the next time you have a party and you put on a cocktail, you're making cocktails, and then you put a little kind of overproof float on the top of a cocktail. And then one of your guests gets that drink, has a little sip, and their eyes light up. Just take that thought away from you. That is why you need an overproof rum.